Hey guys, and welcome back to Anzo. Today we're going to be talking about Gary Sanchez, and is he going to be back to the Yankees? That's a big question, and that's what we're going to be answering today, since there is some speculation that the Yankees could get a Pirates catcher that's really good defensively in the next few days. So let's dive a little bit more into this. So Gary Sanchez, a lot of Yankee fans, I feel like, have mixed emotions when it comes to Gary. He's one of the baby bombers and one of the guys that really came up with Judge, and a lot of people love him. He became a fan favorite, El Kraken, as they call him, and he has a lot of power, crazy power for a catcher. I would say his defense sucked in the beginning of his early career, and little by little, he started getting a little bit better defensively, where this past season, he did better, but it seemed like he sucked defensively. I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know. But he just did horrible. In the moments where he really needed to just lay down the fundamentals, he didn't. I could just simply remember so clearly the Mets game where all he had to do was just place the tag down, maybe block the home plate, and it would be over. But he was so lazy sometimes. He just has that. It seems like he's a lazy guy, but from the reports I hear, he's a really hard worker. But just sometimes lazy in those moments where we really, really need a solid catcher. Like Kyle Higashioka came on in and really took over for a good period of time over Gary. Because guess what? Higashioka, Higgy, he's really good with Cole. He's really good defensively. His bat isn't there, nothing compared to Gary, even though Gary this past season wasn't anything special either. But I would say that definitely the Yankees have a problem when it comes to Gary Sanchez. He isn't the guy that we thought he was going to be. He's not producing the numbers that we thought he was going to have. And on top of that, his defense is just subpar. So what can the Yankees do with a guy that's hitting 204, 23 home runs, 54 RBIs, and 121 strikeouts this past season at 28 years old? What do you do with a guy like that? Do you tender his contract, give him about $8 million? Do you think Gary Sanchez is worth $8 million? Do you think it's worth signing him for another year? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys love Gary Sanchez? Is that someone that you still see some potential with? And again, don't get me wrong, Gary has improved tremendously when it comes to his defense. He went from 15 errors back in 2019, where this year he just had about 6 errors. So nothing too crazy, but again, in those clutch moments, he did not come through. Sometimes he came through with his bat, and it was crazy home run. The atmosphere in Yankee Stadium just goes crazy. But I don't know if he's the correct fit for the Yankees going forward if they really want to have a solid catcher. And if the Yankees are starting to look at the fundamentals and start to want to get better and more athletic, as they said, then guess what? They're going to need a more athletic catcher, someone that can provide that defense. And a lot of people are also saying, too, that Gary, because of his new defensive skills that he was taught by the Yankees coaching staff, that he has to have one knee down in order to frame it better and everything for the analytics. Basically, his batting suffered. I mean, who knows if there's a correlation to it where he's just been focusing so much on defense lately that his offense suffered. And he's better suited more as a DH or maybe a first baseman down the road. And so who really knows if we're going to keep him? Because guess what? We already have a DH with Stanton for the most part, unless this next season he really starts to show up in the outfield more as the Yankees tested him out. But going forward, I don't think we need a catcher that's like that. Definitely, my excitement for Gary Sanchez is not really there. I don't like to see someone that doesn't have the fundamentals down. It's great to see the home run ball, but guess what? The Yankees have basically 8 other players that are really, really good at hitting home runs and gets the crowd going. We don't need another one of those. We need someone that is solid. Someone like Higgy, but with a little bit more, I would say, experience, or maybe even better than Higgy in defense. And so that's what leads us into this solution that the Yankees are actually looking into. And keep in mind, the tender deadline is November 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So they need to decide if they're going to give Gary $8 million before November 30th and see if they can make a deal for Jacob Stallings. I don't know if you ever heard that name. I definitely didn't. But let's take a look a little bit deeper into Jacob. So Jacob Stallings is a catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's 31 years old. He hit for 246, 8 home runs, 53 RBIs, and he's the best framer in the game. If you don't know what framing is, it's basically just positioning the ball within the strike zone a lot better so that the ump that's behind you as a catcher can kind of give you some of those calls that are closer to the strike zone that might be a little out, and if you just catch it like that, it'll be called a ball. But if you kind of flick your wrist and kind of a low ball down here and you flick it up and you get it right here into the strike zone, it kind of makes sense, and the ump kind of sees that, plays a little trick in his head, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a strike. And so Jacob Stallings, he's a pro at that. He's a pro at having balls basically a little outside of the strike zone be called as strikes. And we need that. Who doesn't need that in the league? And so the Yankees are really investigating big time on trying to see if they can get this guy before November 30th. Stallings was so good this past season. He had 21 defensive runs saved. Who else had that? Carlos Correa. So he tied with him, and guess what? He also got the Gold Glove. And who doesn't like a Gold Glove catcher? Who doesn't want that? So Jacob Stallings, I see him as being a solution to this problem, especially since we have Gary Sanchez that isn't that good, guys. Isn't that good? Jacob Stallings, even though he's not a big name out there, even though he's about 31 years old and he's about to head into towards the end of his career, why not get someone like that? And I guarantee you that most likely Garrett Cole will like to pitch to someone that will frame his pitches even better, that's going to help the pitching staff, and not only that, help the team win. Definitely Jacob Stallings, his numbers aren't crazy good or like, wow, yeah, this guy's amazing. But his defense is what counts. And if the Yankees are trying to get better fundamentally and trying to get more athletic, then I guess Jacob Stallings is the answer. So if it was up to me, I wouldn't sign Gary Sanchez. If I do, I sign him as little as possible and have him as a backup so he could pinch hit. But I don't know if I would want to pay a pinch hitter $8 million. I'd rather have Tyler Wade or someone like that for less than $1 million to be a pitch hitter. But let me know what you guys think. I would rather get more athletic than have a bat that hits a home run once in a while and gets some hits here and there. You know, I would rather have someone that's more solid, someone that provides more contact, and will save the game and will actually put the ball down at the freaking Mets that are just sliding into home base. Like, just actually fundamentally get the guy out and not allow so many pass balls. And so, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Would you rather have Jacob Stallings over Gary Sanchez? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'm very, very interested in seeing what you guys think overall in general. I love answering comments. I love listening to your guys' perspectives. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we just want the Yankees to win. And this is a channel for that. So make sure to stay tuned. Smash that like button as it helps the algorithm. Let other Yankee fans know that this channel exists. We're doing daily uploads about Yankees content. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to turn on the notification bell. And stay tuned for more and more videos every single day. Thank you, guys. This was Anzo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.